Hello there, my name is Archer, and believe it or not, Super Smash Bros. Melee by Fizzy might be the greatest game ever created. Okay, no. Of course, it's kinda impossible to just claim a game in its entirety as just objectively the best. Instead, I want to talk about a detail in games that many people overlook, and that, in our case, is Melee's beautiful learning curve. So before we can talk about the learning curve and get to those juicy graphs, I promise you we will get there, we need to set an upper and a lower bound. Let's start with the lower bound, or the skill floor, since that's a lot easier to define. The skill floor, for those unaware, is the lowest level of competence where you can still be effective. Well then, what does it mean to be effective? My opinion is that you're effective at Melee when you can enjoy playing other matches against another beginner. Oh ho ho, but we're not done yet. I don't want anything vague, I want something concrete. So here it is. Every Melee player categorized by competence. So this is where you'll start. This is where everyone starts. This is the group for players who have never touched a Smash game before. Everyone has been here at some point, and for an example, here's a replay of my first Smash game ever. I'm the DK, if you couldn't guess, and honestly, it looks a lot better than I remembered. I would say this is the first big hurdle you encounter in Melee. Going from newcomer to beginner can be insanely quick, and it can happen in less than 24 hours if you're dedicated. But it can also be quite frustrating, since there might literally be not a single player who's worse than you in your community or in your local area. Even playing with beginners might lead to you getting bodied every single game and maybe even force-locked, but don't worry, you'll get your revenge soon enough. The easiest way to advance from the newcomer stage is to just pick a character and stick with it. I mean, maybe avoid these three. You can swap later or whatever you want, but for now you need to be able to focus on the game instead of learning a new character each match. And I've been there as well. When I started out, I was just playing every character and switching every match. And that's great if you just want to have fun and just trying to learn all the skill sets of each character. But if you want to get into the game, I would highly recommend just sticking to a character for at least a day or two. Becoming a beginner in Melee is a big step. Being a beginner means that you can play the game. That's it, you don't need to know any tech or advanced ideas, but you are still aware, you know all your attacks, all abilities, your up tilt, your forward tilt, your down tilt, those kind of things. And hey, if you dare venture into the hellscape that is unranked, you might even get a win or two between, every 15 losses. This is the perfect time to start experimenting a bit. Try to learn, all the tech you can imagine. I've linked a great document in the description. Get help from better players, and now is the time to try out different characters. Even though you might not feel like it, after you climb the hurdle that is reaching beginner, your skill is going to skyrocket. Don't be afraid to, stay as a beginner for an extended period of time, because honestly, there is no rush. Hell, maybe even after a while you get so comfortable with being a beginner, you might want to stay in a little closed bubble with other beginners. And that's fine. But when you feel ready, pick a door and open it. Choose a character and continue on. Once again, sticking to a character or two will be the biggest support you can get. This is the biggest category of players according to stats from the EU online Melee Discord. This is also where I personally sit. While some might be watching this and saying, wait, doesn't that make me unqualified, inexperienced, and a generally bad source of information? I honestly just think it gives me a more honest and direct perspective of the early parts of the learning curve. Anyways, enough of that. At this point, you should be able to join beginner tournaments and get fairly good results, even placing on the podium.
I like Archer's energy.
Yeah, he got some big dick energy.
With some luck, you might be able to get a win or two in an actual tournament. But, you're not even close to winning a local at this point. Most people would probably say with certainty that they are a beginner, or more often intermediate. But I think the majority of players are in this sort of grey area, where you're competent enough to play competitively, but you're not good enough to really scare anyone. So, our fourth category is intermediate. At this point, you're too good for beginner tournaments, straight up, and almost certainly have played for more than a year, but you're still not power ranked. I have found that in most communities, these are by far the most active players. Everyone at this level feels comfortable with their character and are aiming for good placings in tournaments, mainly locals to be fair, but still. And then, finally, we have the advanced category. Super fast, super simple definition, advanced players are power ranked. Of course, that definition isn't perfect because some regions are easier than others, so it's not like a perfect definition, but it's good enough for me to be fair. So, now that we've categorized the levels of competency in Melee, let's talk about why Melee feels so fulfilling to learn. And that is because Melee has a fairly linear learning curve. Okay, wait. Before you dislike the video, no, I'm not saying that Melee is easy, not at all, relax. I can hear all the angry Falco players multi-shining in the corner. What I'm trying to say is that if you spend a week practicing Melee, you will see results. Always. Like, of course, you can run into roadblocks, that happens to everyone, that might prevent you temporarily from improving, but like, it's nothing compared to other games. There's also such an insane depth to Melee. Melee's complexity as a whole is a lot like an iceberg. On the surface, like, it's honestly nothing special, but oh boy does it go deep. Deep into the Melee tech skill, grinding away at your short hop fast fall L cancels. Just you, no other influences. And that's the second reason why Melee's learning curve feels so satisfying to climb. It's your progress and you're the only one responsible for it. You don't have to worry about no team or something like that. There are no items to unlock, nothing. The only progress you're making is your own muscle memory and knowledge. And that's only outside of the game. Inside your matches, the still concept still applies. Unlike turn-based games like chess and many other fighting games, you are never really not in control. You might see some long combo or chain grab on Final Destination and think that the victim just has to sit there and wait, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Due to DI, smash DI, teching, crouch cancelling and more, you are never really stuck in some endless combo with no input. Okay, wobbling is banned for a reason. That's why, even though you're not at the level you want to be at, you're still continuing to grind. Because after each loss to your region's titans, or your friends, or both, you can feel yourself getting a tiny bit stronger, closer to beating that Falco who called your shit in the Discord after the match, and closer to the top of the learning curve. And then you play a couple of games outside of your country and realize you're not here, you're here.